Learning outcome 1.7, types of customer feedback. So gathering feedback is extremely important for a business. You need to know what your current customers think about your products and services. And the reason why you need to do this is to try and retain as many customers as you possibly can. You need to keep your customers happy, otherwise you will lose them to your competition. So the acronym I use to remember these is SOCKET. So we've got social media or online communities, online surveys, customer comment cards, comments made to staff members, email contact forms, and telephone or email surveys. So the first one we're going to look at is social media or online communities. So basically, when you've created a product or a service, you can use things like the internet, including search engines like Google, to allow your customers to review your products. You can also do this on social media, and it can be extremely beneficial to your business. You do have to be very careful about how you use it though. So the advantages are that it's easy to set up, very simple for customers to complete, it's popular, and it's well known. So by that we mean that most people are familiar with using Google. When they see a product and they see a star rating, they know that you can hover over the stars to give it a rating. It's quite easy to do. Also, it'll just say something like add review, and it allows you to type in a review of the product. So the disadvantages of this and why we need to be careful are that sometimes you might get false reviews. You might get comments that are not true or misleading in some way. Also, if you don't respond to these bad comments or negative comments, then it can look bad on your business. Another disadvantage is that a lot of people can actually see those bad reviews if you are getting them. An online survey, so if you remember, a survey is the entire process of asking questions, collecting the information, and analysing them. So an online survey would often be sent via email because it's free to do so and it's instant, and it allows you to easily gather information and often do analysis in a very easy way, because if you use multiple choice questions, then it can often do the analysis for you. The advantages of online surveys are very easy to set up. There's a number of different apps available that allows you to do them. They're free to send out, and you can actually guide people's responses with clever questions, so you can collect information that you sort of could use for your benefit. For example, if you put certain types of questions in that make your business look very good, you can then use those responses in your advertising. Disadvantages: sometimes people can be lazy with their responses, sometimes people just ignore the emails, and sometimes the junk and spam filters will actually just block the emails anyway. Customer comment cards. Now these are usually a small printed card, and you'll often see them in places like hospitals, schools, and maybe waiting rooms in a business. They're used to ask people about their thoughts, ideas, and sometimes any suggestions for improvements. The advantages is that they're very easy to do without any real technical knowledge, and also people can actually fill them in properly while they're waiting. They're more likely to do so if they've got nothing else to do. Disadvantages: obviously we've got printing costs. The analysis of each individual piece of card and paper can take quite a lot of time, and also someone might be halfway through and then feel like they're rushed if their appointment has actually turned up. Next, we're going to look at comments made to staff members. Now this is obvious what it's about. It's also extremely easy because people can just do it off the cuff, shall we say. You don't actually need to necessarily plan any of it. So this is where, when people are shopping or visiting a business, they might pass comments to the people who work there. So obviously you can collect a lot of feedback more quickly because it's verbal rather than written down. And also sometimes people feel a little bit more comfortable talking to people if they feel like they've got a good relationship with them. Disadvantages: often the feedback that you might get will be complaints, because people tend to complain more than they do give positive feedback. So sometimes this can create some difficult situations with your staff. We've got email contact forms. Now this is essentially the same as an email, however it makes it a little bit easier for the customers to complete. So it just gives them a few boxes to fill in that gives you the information required to deal with that particular customer. Now these are usually put on a business's website, where you click contact and you'll see something like this image shown here. People can fill in those forms and it will automatically send what you fill in to the business. So the advantages of this is that it's very easy to set up. Once it's set up, it's basically done and will just continue to work for you. Sometimes customers might feel confident not speaking to someone and they'd rather just write it out. And it also allows instant collection of the data because it sends instantly. Disadvantages are that you have to put it on a website really. You could get bots or spam where it's not actually humans filling it in. And it's also very time consuming to check through all these different responses. Finally, we've got telephone surveys. Now, basically this is where you are ringing up using your own staff to find out what the customers think about the products and services. Now, sometimes you will get people being a lot more truthful over the phone because they don't have to see that person in the face. You can gather a lot of feedback because it's verbal, and you can actually record the calls as well in case you need to look back over them. Disadvantages are that sometimes people don't answer the phone, sometimes people might be busy or hard to get hold of, and you've obviously got to pay your staff to do it. Another disadvantage is sometimes people might feel like they're being hassled by a business and might get a little bit angry about it. So that is ways of gathering customer feedback. If you've got any questions, email me and I'll get back to you.